When considering a career as a Godot developer, you might be contemplating whether to enroll in a university course or to learn independently. But is going to university the right choice for you? Today I'll break down the main pros and cons of both, and my goal isn't to persuade you one way or the other, but to help you make the most informed decision for your exact situation. So here is the table that we are going to be using, and here are the different things that we are going to be comparing between university and studying on your own. And first of all, we're going to be starting off with structured path. And of course, university does have a much more structured path than if you do it on your own. Because the university basically throws you out the different subjects that you have to pass. You go to a class, you listen to the teacher, you take down your notes, you take the exam, you either fail or pass, and that's how you repeat that cycle over and over again until you graduate. So it is quite structured, quite straightforward, okay? And you usually have in the website like all the subjects that you have to take in the entire career. So everything, it is quite easy to understand the different steps that you have to do. First you have to do A, then B, then C. But of course, as a self-taught developer, you don't really have that structured path. Because maybe you start off taking 2 or 3 courses and you have to decide on your own which tools you are going to be using. Whereas, for example, university directly tells you, okay, you have to use these tools. So you have to decide on your own which tools to use. Then you have to decide in which platform you are going to be studying. It can even be YouTube, Udemy, or other websites that have some kinds of paid courses. And well, when you finish those courses, you have to start looking for the next one. So it is always a matter of looking for the best course, looking for the next things to do. So this, depending on your own, can be either good or bad. If you are a pretty organized person that likes to do everything on its own way, that likes to control everything, definitely it is an advantage not having a structured path. But on the other hand, if you are someone that likes to have everything done for you, that you maybe don't really like organizing everything yourself, well, then having a structured path is a point for going for university. The second point is the degree, okay? And here, well, in self-taught, even though in all these courses that you are creating, that you are taking, you are going to be creating some games that of course then you can showcase in your portfolio, in your CV, whatever. And also you're going to be getting tons of certificates when you complete a course if it is in some kinds of a paid platform. And that isn't bad, it is actually quite useful. But there are still some companies that prefer much more having a university degree, okay? We are not going to get super deeper in terms of, okay, are companies doing it well or bad? The fact that maybe they consider more valuable a university degree than a certificate in some kind of platform. We are not going to be getting into that. But well, you have to know that indeed there are some companies, in most cases, those companies that are quite formal, maybe a little bit close-minded, that if you do not have any kind of university degree, they are not going to take you in. But well, if you don't really want to work in a super formal and let's say close company, if you are a self-taught developer, with the courses that you take, with the certificates that you're issued, and with the projects that you create, it is going to be more than enough. But well, it really depends here on your situation. That's why we have that emoji. In terms of freedom, of course, if you are a self-taught developer, let's say that you are your own boss, you have your own schedule, you determine what you're going to be studying, which tools you're going to be studying. So definitely that is freedom. And in university, of course, it is not a prison. You still have a lot of freedom because, well, sometimes you can choose at what time you are going to be taking the classes. You can organize which subjects to take first, and well, more things depending on the exact university and course. But well, definitely it is much less freedom than the one that you have as a self-taught developer. But well, this is quite related to the first point of a structured path. If you have that freedom but you don't really take advantage of that freedom is not going to actually be worth it. But if you do like having your own freedom, having your own control over things, definitely this freedom is a pretty positive point that is quite interesting taking in account. Updates. This is a point in which there is a lot of controversy, but well, it is a reality. And the thing is that in most cases, most universities are quite outdated. And it is something understandable because programming, game development, whatever, it is changing just too fast. You probably know what happened with the Unity debacle. So the university can't change from one day to other. Okay, we're not going to be teaching Unity anymore, and now we are going to be teaching Godot. It is impossible for them. So indeed, the updates, let's say that, well, of course, depending on which university, they could be more updated or less updated. But if you are a self-taught developer, you can always look for the latest information for the course that was released just 1 month ago and has the latest information on the game engine, on whatever that you want to learn. So you always make sure that you are learning the most updated information. And in university, in some cases, it could be that you're learning the latest, but there could be also some other situations in which you aren't learning the latest. And trust me, in an area as game development that is changing so fast in terms of which engine to choose, which tool is the best one to create your games, etc., this is a point that it is worth considering in spite of your own personality. If you like the freedom, if you like having a structured path or whatever, the thing of being a self-taught developer and always keep up updated with the latest is just a super interesting thing that you really have to take into account. Cost. Depending on your country, depending where you're planning on studying, in most cases, courses are much more affordable than going to university. So I'm not going to be discussing much here because this really depends on your country, where you want to study, if you're able to get some discount for some chance or for some other reason. And now in terms of sociability, of course, if you go to university, even if you just do everything online, that nowadays we do have that possibility, probably you're going to have much more sociability. And trust me, that sociability really helps a lot because sometimes in game development, in programming, you feel a little bit alone because you're always working or studying just in front of a PC and you have no one around you, so you may feel a little bit alone. But well, at university, you at least have your mates, so it is a little, let's say, more sustainable because you are going to be spending endless hours in front of the PC studying, trying to understand something, etc. Of course, as a self-taught developer, you can still get that sociability. There are tons of online communities. When you buy an online course, you always have some access to a server or whatever where you can speak to the teachers, to other students, share what you're doing, etc. But well, I think that the feeling of going to university would not be the same one. But well, once again, this really depends on your personality. If you are not a pretty sociable person, definitely this is not going to be making the difference. But if you are someone who really likes socializing with people, talking with people, interacting with people, well, studying everything alone in your room maybe is not the best choice. So actually here the question remains, so what do you do right now? And everything that you have to speak to yourself, really balance all the things that we have been mentioning throughout the video. I think which would be the best choice. You can always start in one path and then go to the other path, or you can even mix both. You can still go to university and in your free time during the weekends or whenever you can still take some courses to reinforce even more your knowledge. So I believe that as long as you start learning, as long as you start studying, if it is your true passion, you're going to be okay. And then you're going to be able to just change your path or adjust your path as time goes by. So that would be my recommendation, and I wouldn't like demonize any of them. Of course, maybe when you tell your parents, oh, I'm not going to university, it is quite difficult for them to understand you. Because probably if they had the chance, they have gone to university. But well, I hope that now you are able, you and also your parents are able to balance a little bit more this choice. But well, do not demonize one or the other, just start off where you think you're going to be able to be the most comfortable with. And if it wasn't what you were actually expecting, you can always change to the other and the other way around. In spite of university being a self-taught or whatever, studying is something that never ends in life, okay? So the specific path that you chose for these first years is not going to be like deterministic in terms of if you are successful or not. What is going to determine if you are successful or not is that if you study game development or you do not study it as hard as maybe you could. Anyway, let me know what are you planning to do. Would you like to go to university? Would you like to be more a self-taught developer? I would like to read in the comments down below. Also, subscribe for more related content. See you in the next one and bye bye.